Hey, Disney cruisers, and welcome back to the DCL community where we are here to help you plan, prepare for, and get excited for your Disney cruise. You guys know me, I'm Rebecca, your host and admin of the DCL community. And today we are talking all things health and safety on board a Disney cruise. What to do when you get sick? Do you need travel insurance? All of the big questions that you're probably asking. And as you're coming in, please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from so that we can say hi. But Hunter, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. Hi, guys. My name is Hunter. I am a concierge travel advisor with Jayco Travel. I have been planning travel for over 10 years now, and Disney Cruise Line is my passion. My favorite vacation to go on and plan are Disney cruises. I've been on 29 Disney cruises and counting all across all of their ships that are currently out in the fleet. So I have a wealth of knowledge to share with my guests. I love everything from the crew members to the private island destinations, the entertainment, unlimited ice cream, all the character interactions, Broadway shows. And then for me, I think it's the perfect mix of Disney plus beach and relaxation because I do love the ocean. I'm like Moana.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Could not agree with you anymore. It truly is the best vacation. And if somebody wants to get in touch with you, is this the best way to do it?
Yes, so email is definitely the quickest way to get a hold of me. Between me and my team, we're always in the inbox all day long. If you want to, get on the phone with me, we can schedule a phone consultation, and you can visit my website, schedule a phone consultation from there. Connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All of these links are clickable, and once the presentation or our live event is over, it will be shared in the Disney Cruise Line Facebook group. And you can go visit there and go into the slide decks and it'll be clickable for you. But easiest way to reach out is email hunter@jaycotravel.com.
Yeah, she's so quick with responses, and you do so much within Disney cruising.
Yeah, so as a mother of both a son and a daughter, they've been cruising since they were just 1 year old. So my specialty is family travel. And like Rebecca said, I do things beyond cruising, Mexico, Europe, Caribbean, Hawaii, a few other destinations, but we're talking about Disney Cruise Line. So my specialties within Disney Cruise Line are family travel, allergy travel, accessible travel, concierge staterooms, and then Disney Cruise Line weddings. I've sailed with my immediate family, a large extended family, groups of friends. I've even sailed on Disney Cruise Line solo. So I've got all the bases covered. Kiddo with some food allergies, sailed concierge and all this on all the ships. Been in accessible staterooms for some family members, and just all of the different areas of Disney Cruise Line, I feel like I've briefly touched on in my personal sailing. So that really makes me equipped to help with a wide variety of family travel.
Yes, having that personal experience to bring to all of your guests, it makes such a difference. And when I tell you, this girl knows allergy travel on Disney Cruise Line like the back of her hand. Like she's got every single bottle, label, sauce, everything to know every ingredient. She's got you covered if you have allergies.
The post that we actually have scheduled to go out on the Disney Cruise Line Facebook page after this presentation, I went ahead and linked allergy travel in that post, our video on that, and then the allergy Facebook group, because that does go along with health and safety. And while we're not touching on it a lot in this presentation, we've done multiple presentations on allergy travel. So I linked our most recent one. So if you need help on allergy travel, go to the Disney Cruise Line Facebook group, Disney Cruise Line Community Facebook group after this presentation, and you'll find that in the post as well.
Perfect. So efficient.
Beyond being a travel advisor for the last decade, I am also a registered nurse. So with that, I have cared for patients with health and safety issues and know how things can change so quickly, from sickness to other major medical issues on board. And in addition to that, I've navigated hurricanes for clients. I've had medical visits to the infirmary personally, and it's definitely taught me how to prepare, help my clients be flexible, and have the right travel protection that can make all of the difference. So I definitely have a deep understanding of infection prevention, triage, and patient care. I was a surgical nurse. Now I kind of work in community health. But I've personally experienced multiple infirmary visits on board, from stitches for my kiddo to heart troubles with my grandmother. I've guided clients through onboard medical visits and insurance claims, post-cruise follow-up. We've reworked client itineraries for storms or pre-cruise injuries that made their, travels have to be adjusted, just ensuring that there's all the safety needs are met, but also with as minimal disruption to the trip as possible. And I share these things with you, not to startle you, alarm you, or make you panic, but to make you really think about needing to plan smartly and confidently and have the correct protections in place.
Yes, it's all about being proactive, because when you're in it, you can't think about all the details, and that's where Hunter's expertise. She can prepare you for all of these things,
and then
be
just
in your back pocket.
Having somebody on your side that can work with you through this one-on-one. Like I've had to walk clients through medical emergencies via WhatsApp, and
You're so good.
Helpful to have somebody like that isn't in the midst of the crisis, that has, their brain doesn't feel like mush and can literally walk you through something step by step. And I've done that for clients. Nobody ever wants to be in that position, but sometimes it just happens. So we're going to hit on avoiding seasickness, illness prevention on board, visits to the infirmary, travel protection, weather disruptions, and proactive packing tips to kind of round out this video.
Amazing. Okay. Sounds like a good plan. So let's talk about seasickness. Everybody is concerned about this on a cruise.
Yeah. Even like the most, experienced cruisers can feel off when the seas are rough, but motion sickness really is manageable with preparation. The Disney Cruise Line ships do have sailors, so most guests typically adjust within a day, but just some tips right off the bat: choose midship staterooms on lower decks for less motion. And also having a balcony room can help, because you kind of see the horizon, and you can also open the door and get that like fresh air that a lot of times can take away some nauseating feelings. Also taking meclizine, Dramamine, or using the acupuncture bands can help, but always start treatment if you're worried about seasickness 24 hours before the sailing, so it gets into your system. Avoid the heavy, greasy meals or excess alcohol. You can have ginger chews or the sea bands, and make sure you stay hydrated. Pro tip: call room service for green apples. Green apples do help curb seasickness. You can order ginger ale in the dining rooms, and also pack some sour candy. Sour candy also can help curb seasickness. And just that, like, not even just seasickness, but like the nauseated feelings. And then those ginger chews, I think they have ginger like mints and like suckers for like kids. But the sea bands are really great also. And then you can also get a prescription medication from your doctor, a scopolamine patch. It goes behind the ear. If you've had surgery, you might have woke up with one and they're like, don't scratch and touch your eyes, it'll dilate your eyes. So you could also get that, and you want to put that on 2 to 3 days before. So you'd want to, if you have they're good for 3 days. So if you have a 7-day cruise, you're probably going to want to get 4 of those. Start it before. And you'll probably want to wear it for like a day after or so, because a lot of people come home with what we call sea legs and just kind of feel funky. But those are some tips for staying healthy if you're worried about seasickness.
Oh my gosh, so many good tips. And from somebody who, yes, please.
They have Dramamine in little like buckets on the wall right outside the infirmary for free. But keep in mind, Dramamine is going to make you drowsy. So if you take meclizine on board over the counter, it's non-drowsy, but you may still get a little tired from it. It's not as a heavy hitter as Dramamine. Benadryl can also work, but again, it's going to make you tired.
What about the non-drowsy Dramamine?
I mean, they all say non-drowsy, but it's still going to affect you to some extent.
Yeah.
Being non-medicated, of course, is the best way to go. We're using natural remedies like the ginger chews or apple, ginger ale, things like that. Those are going to be really the only things that keep you from not being tired. It's not going to knock you out. The non-drowsy is not going to knock you out as maybe the regular Dramamine or Benadryl would, but I feel like it still affects you.
Yes, I totally agree. I have such a sensitive stomach, so the bands, anything non-medicated is always my first course of action. And what about other non-seasickness illnesses?
Yeah, so we're coming hot and heavy into cold and flu season, guys. Like, what does everybody say at home? No matter where you are or what illness is going around, wash your dang hands. Cruise
Yes.
ships are clean. Like, you will see people cleaning all over the place, but close quarters mean germs spread easily. But being vigilant with hand washing, if you have a sick kid, like, kids are going to have a cough. They're going to have little colds. Don't let them walk up to the buffet. Give them their food for them. You have a
Yeah.
cough. Don't go to the buffet. Like, it's common sense. And like, we need to use our manners, like, truthfully.
Yeah.
But seriously, wash your hands as much as possible before meals, after touching handrails or elevators, or if you're going down the stairs and you're steady, don't hold the rails. Or when you're in the elevator, don't be grabbing everything. Like, keep hand sanitizer on you. Don't touch your face and mouth. Wash your hands before you eat, after you go to the bathroom. If somebody gets in your sick in your cabin, like, they need to stay in your cabin. Like, don't be spreading the illness. Like, yes, it sucks. It's unfortunate. You don't want them to miss part of the vacation, but there's thousands of other people on the ship that also don't want to get sick.
Yeah.
The staterooms are disinfected daily, but if you've got somebody coughing, hacking, or the plane, take some, antiseptic wipes. Wipe stuff down. Keep hand sanitizer on you. So when you enter the dining rooms, the main dining rooms on Disney Cruise Line, they're going to hand you a hand sanitizing wipe. That's not optional. You must wash your hands with it. When you walk in the buffet, there's crew members guiding you to wash your hands in the hand washing station. Again, it's not optional. It's not a suggestion. You need to do it. That's how they keep things safe. When the kids go into the kids club, I love these hand washing stations. I wish they had them all around the ship, but they stick their hands in it, and it's an automated hand washing station that comes out. It dispenses soap and water, and the kids just hold their hand in there, and it washes their hands. I'm like, I wish that was all over the ship. Those are brilliant. But just wash your hands. And if you're sick, don't spread the germs. Like, stay in the room.
Yes. Think about the crew. Like, you don't want to infect the crew, and then they can't
work
work
for 6 months away from their family. Then they can't work, and then they're not making money and their tips. I'm like, it's just sad. So just wash hands.
Don't be that person.
Sick before the cruise, do not get on the cruise. There's a health questionnaire. Don't lie on it. Like, keep your conscience clean. Like, you can always recycle.
Nobody wants. I always say, I'm like, nobody wants to get sick, so don't be that person that gets everybody sick, right? Don't do it. And I just have to put my little plug in here. If you're drinking out of your water bottle, don't stick your water bottle up to the drink fountain and get your germs all over the drinks. Get a fresh cup and fill up your cup separately. Just don't do it. Okay, what about the infirmary? I see your son here getting stitches.
Yeah. So the medical team on board Disney Cruise Line has always been phenomenal in my experience, but cruise ship medicine is private. It is not insurance-based. Your health insurance at home through your job or whatever is not going to cover you on the ship. So having child protection to file a claim afterwards is so important. There's typically 2 to 3 doctors on board, and then they rotate being on call, and then nurses as well. The infirmary is only open set hours, but if you have an emergency, like my son did, you just call down guest services and say, hey, I have a medical emergency, and they'll tell you to go to the infirmary, or they're going to ask you where they are, and they're going to come to you. We actually had to do this twice in one cruise. So my grandmother, first day, like, the ship has not even left port, and she has heart condition. She's had a valve replacement. She started having heart palpitations, and she got hot and sweaty, diaphoretic, and she passed out in Cove Cafe. And we got her back to the room, and she was unwell. And I was not, with her heart conditions, I was not comfortable. So I called the infirmary from the room. The doctor came up. They got her down to the infirmary. And she ended up having to have like an EKG, blood work, IV fluids, and they were gonna like send her off the ship before it ever even left Port Canaveral. And I was like, she was distraught.
Yeah, I can imagine.
whatever. She came back around. We think she just got like hot and she was anxious, never been on a cruise before. So we let her stay on board. They had her come back the next day, did more blood work, checked her vitals, all those things. I think we were in an infirmary for like 3 hours. And everything was good the rest of the week. We were on a 7-night cruise, never had any more issues with her. I think her bill ended up being like, it was around like $700. So that blood work, EKG, and fluids. So an IV. It was around $700. We did have to pay that on board cash. And then afterwards, I came home, filed the claim. She got a full reimbursement for the insurance that we had paid like $100 for, because I did like last minute just medical coverage. Then the same cruise, my son was running upstairs in the hero zone and he like ran his hand across the wall and like one of the metal trim pieces sliced his hand open. And here he is getting stitches in his hand. Because it happened on the ship, like the trim cut him, even though he probably should have been running his hand across it and running down the hallway. They didn't charge us for that. He ended up getting a tetanus shot, some antibiotics, and stitched up, as you see here. So I have no idea what that bill would have been, but because it was a ship accident, they deemed it, we didn't get charged.
No.
But they can include, I mean, they have illness evaluation, medication, IV fluids, x-rays, and they can take like serious, medical issues. They have like a little ICU set up. So if somebody's having a heart attack or a stroke, like they can handle those. But of course, the best place for that to be is in a hospital. So if you're having a major medical issue like a heart attack, they're going to try to get you off the ship as soon as possible. They're either going to return to a port and have like an ambulance come to the port and get you, or if need be, they're going to bring out a helicopter and they're going to drop a basket and they're going to airlift you. I met a cruiser on board and she boarded and she knew, I believe she knew she had an ear infection. She had been treated. Well, it got worse. Her throat was like swelling and she was struggling to breathe. And all because of an ear, like it started initially as an ear infection. And they called out the helicopter, medevac, and they dropped the basket, took her off with lifting her out off the ship with the basket. A doctor went with, and they took her back to shore. I've had it where somebody was having some sort of medical emergency and it was our day at sea and we were close to Port Everglades. They, came over the speaker and said, hey, we're going into Fort Lauderdale. We have to do a medical evacuation, and we got them off at the port. I've had it where we stayed at Castaway so that they could land a helicopter at Castaway. I've had it where we stayed at Nassau until like 9 p.m. so they could get somebody off. So if they need to get you off, they're not going to hesitate to get you off. And this kind of goes back to that child protection thing. Your travel insurance at home through your employer, your spouse's employer, or privately is not going to cover these things. Imagine not having travel protection and having a heart attack, and you now have all the bills from on board. You have the medical evacuation via helicopter, and then you have, say they take you to Nassau. Now you've got out-of-country hospital bills, and you have no medical coverage for it. Like, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars. It would financially ruin somebody, most people. So get the travel protection. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But make sure you have prescription medications with you. If you have food allergies or your child has food allergies or bee allergies or anything, bring the EpiPen. Keep it on you. Keep it in the original container. There's just so many things to take into consideration. So many different medical issues could arise. It could be as simple as somebody trips and breaks their ankle as they, fall down the stairs. Like, it doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't have to be a heart attack. It doesn't have to be a stroke. It could be a perfectly healthy 13-year-old boy and just running down the hallway and slices his hand open. Like, just because
things
you
happen.
Have medical issues doesn't mean you shouldn't have child protection. Like, I hear people say, I don't need child protection, I'm not going to cancel. Well, that's not what it's always about. It's also about evacuation coverage, medical coverage. So it's my little soapbox nurse spiel.
There's so much. Yes. Just having that peace of mind. And what a perfect segue.
Yeah. So rolling right into child protection, medical coverage. travel insurance does cover trip interruptions, emergency medical, evacuation, cancel for covered reasons, and there's cancel for any reason options. Like I said, most U.S. health plans do not cover care outside of the country, including on a cruise. It doesn't matter if the cruise leaves from Florida. Disney does offer a travel protection policy. It's 8% of the total cruise fare. But I, in my experience, have found that third-party plans offer broader coverage, often for a more economical price. Now, these broader plans are based on trip spend and age of the person on the policy. So for a younger family, like myself with 2 younger kids, and I'm only in my 30s, third party is probably going to be cheaper. Now, if you're somebody in your 50s or 60s, maybe have pre-existing condition, or even 70s and 80s, like we see sailors in that age, probably even older, the Disney Cruise Line coverage is probably going to be more economical because it goes off the coverage, 8% of the total cruise fare, whereas the third party goes off your age and the total price. But I'm not a licensed insurance agent. Most travel advisors are not licensed insurance agents. We legally cannot decipher the policies for you. We can offer them to you to, add them onto your package, sell third-party coverages for you, but we cannot explain the actual policy to you. So we have you call the travel insurance company. We can give you all the policy, like the whole document for you to read through. Always read the fine print, especially if you have pre-existing conditions, especially if you're going on adventurous excursions, because there are exclusions. Just like a couple things that I could think of off the top of my head that could potentially be excluded as an excursion or even a separate trip. Simple hiking trails, not even simple necessarily, but dangerous terrain, altitude sickness, getting injured in the remote wilderness. Some insurance policies, travel protection policies, if you don't have the adventurous add-on, won't cover things like that. Horseback riding, snow sports, scuba diving, hot air balloon rides, zip lining, there's bungee jumping, like any water sport like jet ski or kayaking, or safaris is a big one. Sometimes you have to call the insurance company and say, these are the excursions I'm doing. Are they covered, or do I need an additional add-on coverage so that if something happens on these excursions, that I would be covered. And it usually doesn't add a lot to your premium, but it's a specific coverage.
Yeah.
So this is something that's really important. This is kind of we have as a travel agency, we've dealt with some crazy stuff. We had a guy in his early 30s have a heart attack playing after having beach volleyball, and he didn't survive. Getting his remains from a foreign country back to the United States is a process. We had a grandfather have a stroke that had to be medevac, didn't have insurance. His whole family was there. Mexico demands a certain amount of coverage up front, with a credit card or a wire transfer. When you don't have medical coverage, these things can ruin the rest of your life financially. So it's so important.
Just that peace of mind. It's just like driving a car. Nobody likes paying your car insurance, but you know that it's necessary because if something happens, you want to be covered. And I know that there's somebody out there right now rolling their eyes saying, no, I don't need it. My family's fine. The peace of mind alone to know that you are covered but if something happens.
If you don't want to cover your whole trip, the cost of the trip, you're I'm not canceling, fine, I don't care, whatever. But at the very minimum, get the last minute medical coverage. So Travel Guard has what they call pack and go insurance. And this is actually the exact policy I bought for my grandmother right before we went on our trip in February. I want to say it was $70 for just her for pack and go, and it had medical coverage, and it covered her policy. She ended up making out essentially on it. She only spent $70 to $90 on it because of her age. Now, as a family of 4, I could get it for less than $100, and it's only going to cover certain things. But Travel Guard, pack and go, at the very minimum, get something like that, a last minute medical coverage. That's travel protection.
Yeah.
Otherwise, You
Oh,
could be
I
stuck
was just,
in the
yeah.
situation.
And if I know that someone, and we're already getting questions about what travel insurance do you recommend, what travel insurance, reach out to Hunter. She can help guide you, especially depending on your family, depending on the cruise, or maybe you're thinking about Adventures by Disney. There's so many different vacations, and she can help guide you and give you options on what plans might make sense. And then together, you guys can work
Yeah.
through what
So, I
options
mean,
are going to
just
be best.
quickly, the three
Yeah.
that are like big hitters in the travel industry and that I personally use Travel Insured or Travel Guard. Allianz is another one that's very popular. I think they cover a lot of the airlines. Chubb is another one. But personally, what I always offer to my clients most always is Travel Insured and then Travel Guard in some situation. It just depends. And then I can't remember who Disney Cruise Line works with, but if you do like best travel insurance companies,
Mhm.
travel protection companies, a Google search, like just do your due diligence or reach out to me. Like I always, 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 always quote my clients travel protection. If you decide not to do it, I'm so serious about this that I make you sign a waiver that you understand that you're taking full responsibility of all these risks because
Yes.
it is a big deal.
Yes. And just to say, and so I like to travel, right? Hunter obviously does too. So for my family, we have an annual plan that might make sense for your family. So good thing to at least
But
look
something to know about
into.
annual plans that a lot of people
Yeah.
don't realize is that it doesn't cover you. The annual plan itself does not cover you until you are already on your trip. It does not cover anything before your trip. So if you want to cover things before your trip, like illnesses or deaths or whatever, before you get to your trip, you have to add on additional coverage for each trip.
Got it.
But
Good
like
to
an annual
know.
policy for me was like $95. And it has my medical coverage, but it doesn't start until I'm literally in the destination. It doesn't cover
Good
all
to
the
know.
things ahead of time.
Got it. Good to know, man. So many things to keep in mind here. And I know obviously we mentioned we're in the middle of cold and flu season, but hurricane season is another one that people
Yeah,
just
man,
hyper
like
fixate on.
thoughts and prayers to Jamaica because Hurricane
Oh my
Melissa
gosh,
is
yes.
rough. Like, oh, it was breaking my heart. Like just thinking about it and like the devastation that Jamaica has experienced, and even the outer bands that are hitting other Caribbean destinations. Like it's overwhelming. It's somber.
It's
But sailing
scary.
in hurricane season, I just sailed on a cruise during hurricane season, had an amazing time, had incredible weather. But it's still hurricane season, you guys. Like it runs June and November technically, but we see the most hurricanes in August, September, October. Disney's captains and their shoreside weather team, whatever, they're masters at pivoting itineraries. They will change the itinerary if they can. For example, I have an entire wedding party on the Disney Wish right now. What they did was they swapped their castaway day and their day at sea, and we're carrying on.
Yeah.
They probably
Yeah.
experience rain. Probably. They'll probably have quite a bit of rain, but this ship must go on. Okay. Like
Yeah.
they're still sailing. Disney is not going to put in harm's way. So if they need to adjust itineraries, they will. If they need to cancel, they will. So it's better to enjoy an unexpected adventure, having ports change or an itinerary change than face unsafe seas. Disney is not going to put you in harm's way. Jeez. But something to keep in mind, just talking about travel insurance, like you have to have travel insurance before a named storm. So if they announce like tropical depression, whatever, tropical depression, Melissa, or I think before they even name it, it has like numbers or something. You have to have your insurance before that, or it's not going to cover it.
Yes.
So, and another thing people don't realize, if your ports change or your days change, you are not entitled to a refund. It is in the cruise contract. They do not have to give you any refund, any compensation, any onboard credit, any gift. They are able to change the itinerary as they see fit for safety reasons.
Yes.
They don't
Do
even
not
have to exchange it
complain.
for it. You could just get another day at sea. Like
Yeah.
that is in the cruise contract that when you are booking and doing your online check-in, you are agreeing.
Yes.
But
so don't go complaining to the crew about it. Like it's to keep everybody safe, right? Disney's not In Disney's ideal world, everything goes as planned. But what's the alternative? Sailing through the eye of a storm or getting an extra sea day? Like, easy choice.
Right.
You would think.
Yeah. So Disney, above all, Disney's priority is safety. So they're gonna make that decision as they need, and just don't take you being bummed out about missing something out on the crew because
yes,
they know people are gonna be upset. They don't want to do it. They have to do it. So
yes, yeah.
Anyway.
And don't stress about it. You can't control the weather. Nobody can. Disney can't.
It's better than being at home, right? Like you have so many
Yes.
things to do, all these activities on the ship. Just go enjoy yourself.
Yes, so true. And I love that you have this proactive packing list on here to get ahead of anything that could potentially happen on board.
Yeah. So some things I always recommend taking is motion sickness medicine. I don't even get motion sickness. My kids don't get motion sickness, but I'm always like, I'm with other people a lot, or even I just meet other cruisers. Like I'm chatty Cathy on board. Okay. Like if you see me, talk to me. I have an unapproachable face, but like if you actually come and approach me, I will talk to you for hours. Okay. Anyways, so I always take medicines on board because like I will hand them out. Electrolyte packets, like those liquid IVs, whatever, like take some of those, a thermometer, any other medications that you could think of, Tylenol, ibuprofen, like Pepto, cold medicine, Imodium, like anything that you could possibly need. Like I have a little drug bag, like of all these medications.
Yeah, Tums is always at the top of my list. Yes.
Band-Aids, blister Band-Aids, like triple antibiotic ointment, like eye drops, like all the things. Hydrocortisone cream. Just take some stuff with you, get the little packets, get a little mini first aid kit, order off Amazon, like thank me later. Also, another thing I always take, safety pins. I literally had a girl one day knock on my door and say, "Do you have any safety pins?" And I'm like, "Actually, I have a whole kit. What size would you like?"
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You're so good.
Proactive packing. Like you never know when you might need it. Hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes. I am that crazy person on the plane wiping out the seats.
Same. I don't want anybody's nastiness. No, thank you. I love that you have all the safety pins, though. That's such a good one. And I'm going to come knock on your door.
Yeah, I got like a little, it's not that big. It's like literally this big rectangle box off Amazon with like 100 safety pins of all different sizes. And like, it just always stays in my luggage. I have a whiteout pen or like a Tide pen. Like I have all the things.
So good.
Yeah. So little things like that could make a difference. But another thing is I always take like oil of oregano, vitamin C, vitamin D. Like I always load my family up before going on vacation, like 2 weeks before time, like beforehand. We just started loading up on vitamins and elderberry syrup, like all the things. My best friend makes a bunch of like tinctures and she's like, have it, like take it. It's good for you. I'm like, okay, whatever.
I'm the same way. Even if it does nothing but like make me feel better mentally about it, I am taking every vitamin that I can.
Yeah, like emergency. Like Anyways, so you can absolutely sail with confidence. You know, you just have to be prepared. And I'd absolutely love to help you plan your next Disney Cruise Line vacation. Make sure you're prepared. And make your vacation go as smooth as possible. So if you have any questions, make sure to go to the Facebook group and comment on the post that Rebecca's going to publish here in a few. And thanks for tuning in and learning about health and safety on board with me.
Yes, I was going to say that I know that some folks are probably like, oh my gosh, there's more to worry about, but there's really not. We're trying to help you be proactive here. And that's why working with a travel partner like Hunter, and I don't think we mentioned this in the beginning, but her planning services are actually free for you to utilize. So let her help you prepare. She can help with excursions and transfers and hotels and flights and everything that you need to have an amazing cruise, including all of this. So definitely reach out to her. Hunter, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And we will see all y'all on board real soon. Bye, guys.